The Lord be with you. I'm Deacon Keith Fournier, and our first reading is taken from the letter of the Apostle Paul to the Galatians. I am astonished that you are so promptly turning away from the one who called you in the grace of Christ and are going over to a different gospel. Not that it is another gospel, except that there are troublemakers among you who are seeking to pervert the gospel of Christ. But even if we ourselves, or an angel from heaven, preaches to you a gospel other than the one we preached to you, let God's curse be on him. I repeat again, what we declared before. Anyone who preaches to you a gospel other than the one you were first given is to be under God's curse. Who am I trying to convince now? Human beings or God? Am I trying to please human beings? If I were still doing that, I should not be a servant of Christ. Now, I want to make it quite clear to you, brothers, about the gospel that was preached by me. That it was no human message. It was not from any human being that I received it. And I was not taught it, but it came to me through a revelation of Jesus Christ. And our response is taken from Psalm 111. Alleluia. I give thanks to Yahweh with all my heart in the meeting place of honest people, in the assembly. Great are the deeds of Yahweh, to be pondered by all who delight in them. The works of his hands are fidelity and justice. All his precepts are trustworthy, established forever and ever, accomplished in fidelity and honesty. Deliverance he sends to his people. His covenant he imposes forever. Holy and awesome is his name. The root of wisdom is the fear of Yahweh, and those who attain it are wise. His praise will continue forever. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke. And now a lawyer stood up and, to test him, asked, Master, what must I do to inherit eternal life? He said to him, What is written in the law? What is your reading of it? He replied, You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. Jesus said to him, You have answered right. Do this, and life is yours. But the man was anxious to justify himself, and so he said to Jesus, And who is my neighbor? In answer, Jesus said, A man was once on his way down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell into the hands of bandits. They stripped him, beat him, and then made off, leaving him half dead. Now a priest happened to be traveling down the same road. But when he saw the man, he passed by on the other side. In the same way, a Levite who came to the place saw him and passed by on the other side. But a Samaritan traveler who came upon him was moved with compassion when he saw him. He went up to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring oil and wine on them. He then lifted him on his own mount, and he took him to an inn, and he looked after him. Next day, he took out 2 denarii and handed them to the innkeeper and said, "Look after him, and on my way back, I will make good any extra expense that you have." Now, which of these 3 do you think proved himself a neighbor to that man who had fallen into the bandits' hands? He replied, "The one who showed pity toward him." Jesus said to him, "Go and do the same yourself." The Gospel of the Lord.